Alright, so there's my dog. We are reading books that YouTubers recommend. Again, this is like my freaking favorite YouTube video to film. If you have been around for a while in my channel, I really look like the berries and cream person. Thank God I don't have dark hair. If you have been around my channel, you've seen all of these videos that I've done where I have YouTubers recommend what I read or pick what I read. I think the very first one that I did, it wasn't really Booktubers. It was like pick some like really popular YouTubers to pick that, and thankfully a lot of them replied. Now I'm kind of niching down to like the book community and YouTubers that I know for a fact, I hate this lighting, okay, YouTubers that I know for a fact, you know, are Booktubers. If that makes sense. But essentially, I reached out to a few. Two of them have replied so far. One of them is Sarah Carol. I'm going to put her banner over here. And the other one is Lauren Sidney from Lauren's Reading Corner on Instagram as well. And I'm going to be making sure to link everyone's channel down below. I actually got lucky because I messaged Sarah. She replied pretty fast. And two of the books that she recommended I actually own and haven't read. So lucky me, I can literally start this video today. And then I messaged Lauren and I just ordered the book that she recommended, but let's just kind of take it slow and start. So the book that Sarah recommended was this one, Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I recommended 4 books. I'm gonna put the titles over here. I read 2 of them, and then she also recommended Then She Was Gone. I do have it. I'm gonna put the cover over here. But I think the one that Lauren recommended is actually a thriller too, so I'll kind of diversify the books that I'm reading for this challenge. Don't get bored. So the first one is gonna be this one. I'm gonna read you guys the description in a second. It says, a missed connection, a second chance at love. To the green-eyed love bird. we met 15 years ago, almost to the day when I moved my stuff into the NYU dorm room next to yours at senior house. You call us fast friends. I like to think it was more. We live on nothing but the excitement of finding ourselves through music. You were obsessed with Jeff Buckley, photography, and I couldn't stop taking pictures. My dog's sniffing something near me. Get out! And I couldn't stop taking pictures of you hanging out in Washington Square Park and all the weird things we did to make money. I learned more about myself that year than any other. Yet somehow it all fell apart. We lost touch the summer after graduation when I went to South America to work for National Geographic. When I came back, you were gone. A part of me still wonders if I pushed you too hard after the wedding. Okay, now it makes me want to keep reading the description. I didn't see you again until a month ago. It was Wednesday. You were rocking back on your heels, balancing on that thick yellow line that runs along the subway platform, waiting for the F train. I didn't know that it was you until it was too late, and then you were gone. Again, you said my name. I saw it on your lips. I tried to will the train to stop just so I could say hello. After seeing you, all of the youthful feelings and memories came flooding back to me, and now I've spent the better part of a month wondering what your life is like. I might be totally out of my mind, but would you like to get a drink with me and catch up on the last decade and a half? It seems like right up my alley. Now, the thing with this book is that I did read like 44 pages before. I didn't get into it, but now that Sarah recommended it, I'm gonna try to get back into it, because I already own the book and it would just be a waste to not read it. And I'm intrigued because I do like books set in New York City, so I'm just gonna start reading right now, and then we're gonna move on to the book that Lauren recommended. I read this one. The book that Lauren recommended is called All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. I just ordered it on Amazon. It's a hardback, which is gonna kind of affect my reading experience a little. This is the cover. It gets here tomorrow. I think I'm gonna start reading that one alongside with the romance, just so I don't get bored, because you know I'm a mood reader and I like to have many books going at once. Let's just read this and see what happens. Just like don't want to brush their hair because it's just gonna get messed up.
Chapter. They were all sitting at a big table eating and laughing, and their dad is just like super.
Oh, that was Alexa, right? You guys might be familiar with her. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. She's been my Instagram friend for a very long time, before we both entered the booktube world. She responded, so it's funny because the first 2 books that she sent where we have both read those, and she was like, yeah, I love that for us. And then she sent a big list, and we're gonna be picking from there. I'm gonna put the list over here. I'm gonna think about which book I want to order from that list a little bit longer because I want to get into Lauren's book too. Do have an update on Sarah's book, and let me tell you something. I'm at this point in my life where I think people just need to tell me read this book and I'll like it, because I tried getting into this book by myself and I just couldn't get into it. Now Sarah tells me to read it, I'm like, sure, I'll give it a try. I am actually, look, that's how much I have left. I think I'm on page, let's see here, 200. I made it to page 200 last night. Couldn't put it down. I love Matt. Now, I love the New York setting. I love how they really demonstrated the fact that they did have a lot of chemistry, and I think we're getting into the present because it's like two timelines. It's like the past timeline and the present timeline, and I'm really into it. That's all I have to say for now. I don't want to spoil it. I think the next you're gonna hear from me is when I'm done with the book, pretty much. I also wanted to go ahead and thank EyeBuyDirect because they did send me a really cute package. They sent 3 glasses over from their new collection. I think one of them is from a new collection, or 2 of them, and then one of them I just selected. You know I love a clear pair, and we've got, come in this cute little boxes. We got this clear pair. These are the Uptown frames. I was wearing these all last night, and this is what they look like. You can see the blue light reflection. I'm obsessed, okay? So like, they have this like light blue tint, and I'm obsessed because I feel like I can wear these even to work, and look at that. These are very cool for summer, and I can read with these in the sun. These are like the perfect freaking summer and spring frames. These are called the Ascent frames. I'm pretty sure these are from like a new collection they have. This is from their 5 to C collection. It's like an environmentally friendly recycle. So the glasses are made from recycle materials. Comes in this cute little box. And then I remember last year they sent me their entire collection, and it was great. One of the pairs is still selling to this day. It's one of my most clicked links on Like to Know It. But look at this color, and they're such good quality. I believe this is made from recyclable materials. Look at the color. You know I'm a sucker for green. These are called the Percy frames, and look how they look on. I'm definitely wearing these to work today. I'm obsessed. I low-key just want to wait for Lauren's book to get here so I can do a haul or something. We just read the description, but it hasn't gotten here. Let's check if it's like on the way at least. It should get here today. It says shipped yesterday. It says it's out for delivery, but it doesn't get here until like 10 p.m. so I have to wait. I mean, technically we could just go ahead and pick one of Alexa's books. I'm gonna put her banner over here so you go follow her. So she sent a list. There's Hooked, Brittle Prince, I read that one. Hopeless, I've read that one. And The Fresh Kiss, I've read that one. Throttled, haven't read that one. Heartless, Colleen Hoover, I read that one. Twisted Love, I've read that one. Kin of Wrath, haven't read that one. So we could technically read one that's available for free on Kindle Unlimited, or we could just use this excuse to buy a new book. Just wants to read it on Kindle because she actually sent books that are available on Kindle Unlimited, and why will I be spending money? We'll see. I'm gonna start reading it on my Kindle, and then if I really like it, I'm gonna order the physical copy. Okay, let's essentially try and recap where we're at with this video, because a few days have passed. We went on a mini weekend vacation. I didn't read that much, but I did kind of get into the book that Lauren recommended, which is All the Dangerous Things, where is Stacey Willingham, and I think this is the same author that wrote Flicker in the Dark, which is a book that has been on my TBR for a very long time, and I'm really into it. I'm about 120 pages in, and it's getting really good. I think it had a little bit of a slow start for me, but I think it's because I had just finished Before We Were Strangers by Renee Curlino. This was the one that Sarah Curley recommended, and I love this book. So this put me in a reading slump. You know how it works. I finish a book that I like, then I'm immediately in a reading slump. So let's just take a second to say I love this book. I will talk more about it at the end of the video. I don't want to get into reviews separately. I'm gonna review them at the very end of the video, and that's when you're gonna hear all my thoughts and things. But amazing. Then Lauren Sydney recommended, from Lauren's Reading Corner on Instagram, recommended this one. This is about, it says, 1 year ago Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her childish son Mason was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room. With little evidence and a few leads to the police chase, the case quickly went cold. However, Isabel cannot rest until Mason's return to her literally. Except for the occasional catnap or a small blackout where she loses track of time, she hasn't slept in a year. Isabel's entire existence now revolves around finding him, but she knows she can't go on this way forever. In hopes of daring to lose a new witness or bury a clue, she agrees to be interviewed by a new crime podcaster. But his interest in Isabel's past makes her nervous. His incessant questioning paired with her severe insomnia have brought up uncomfortable memories from her own childhood, making Isabel start to doubt her recollection of the night of Mason's disappearance, as well as second guess who she can trust, including herself. But she's determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. What I'm loving so far about this book is that it has alternating timelines. It goes back, it says then and then now. So it kind of walks us through her childhood, and then it takes us back to the present where, you know, Mason has already gone missing and all of that. I don't know where this book is going. I feel like with thrillers, usually I can kind of guess where we're going with this, but so far I have no clue. I think there's like a new person that has been introduced that I think maybe might have done it, but I feel like it will be too obvious. I kind of hope it's not that person, because then it will be way too obvious. That's all I have to say for now. I'll continue reading, and then I'll see you guys when I have an update about this one. The one that she recommended that I ended up picking, I'm gonna look it up here because I was reading it in the car when we were driving back, is Throttled by Lauren Asher, and this is the Dirty Air series, book 1. I don't really know how you find the description for this book, but this is pretty much like an F1 race situation, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm gonna be totally honest when I say that Lauren Asher has been more of a miss than a hit for me in my reading experience so far. And I hear a lot of people talk about this series even more than her more current series, so we'll see if I like it. It sounded interesting when I read the description of it. This is book number 1 in a series, so I'm guessing I'll continue to, you know, read it. The thing with her writing is that I really enjoy her writing style, but I feel like her books don't take me anywhere. We'll see though. I trust Alexa. So far she hasn't recommended a book that I have disliked, so we shall see. Alright, so I finished All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Williams. Also loved it. I'll give all my thoughts at the very end of the video. Now on to the last book that we're reading for this video, which is a race recommendation, and it's gonna be this book over here. I'm gonna read it on my Kindle, and then if I really like it, I'm gonna get the physical copy. So I just want to give you guys an update. So I'm ready to give you guys my final verdict on the books that we read for this video. That's what we're gonna do right now. The Journey. Also messaged Sarah Carol, and she recommended a series of books. I ended up picking this one because I did already own this book and I hadn't read it. Great. This is Before We Were Strangers by Rena Carlino. I love this book. This was one of those romances that just gives everything a romance is supposed to give, essentially. The second chance romance, which is not a trope that I'm really into, and it's not a trope that I've read a lot of because it's not something that I necessarily crave when I'm looking for romance. It was done so well. The whole New York setting really got me captivated throughout the book, so it was just perfect. It was a 5-star read for me. Sarah, I'm obsessed with this book. Wow, thank you for recommending this. Also, I forgot to thank Lauren. Definitely thank you for recommending this one as well. It was so good. You guys are besties, so I'm sure you both read both of these books. Lastly, I asked Alexa Ray to recommend a book for me. You know, I've had her in previous videos before where she's recommended books for me a lot. I love Alexa. I'm gonna tell you what book she recommended and what I gave it. So I gave this book, let's see. So for Alexa's book, I'm gonna put her ad over here. I read Throttled by Lauren Asher. I'm gonna put a picture of the cover over here. This is the Dirty Air series, book number 1. I remember mentioning to you guys that I'm not a huge Lauren Asher fan. I've tried reading, so I read like over half of the Dreamland Billionaire series, and both of those books were 3 stars and under for me. It's almost like I do like her writing style, and I can kind of, it's entertaining, but if I roll my eyes while I'm reading a romance book, it's just like not enjoyable. And there were some cringy parts of the book that I was just like, that didn't sit well with me, and I didn't really like. So this one, same thing for this book. I feel the exact same way about every single one of her books, and that just kind of gives me information that maybe I just shouldn't continue to read her books, because I don't want to rate them harshly if I'm not really a fan. Well, I'm actually seeing that on Goodreads this book has 3.86 stars, so now I don't feel that bad about my rating, because I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. Sorry Alexa, I love your recommendations, but just this one just wasn't for me. And I don't think it's the book, I think it's just I just don't like any of her books that much. I rated one of her books over 3 stars, and I've read like, this is like my 3rd or 4th book by her. So this is like a F1 racing situation, and I did like that aspect of the book, but I like the racing part of the book more than I like the romance, and this is supposed to be a romance book, so yeah, that's why it was a 3-star for me. It was entertaining, it was fast-paced. I just wasn't a huge fan of the characters. I'm kind of seeing I want to say a pattern in her books where a lot of the characters are very similar, and that's why I just I don't know, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. So that's my rating for that one, and that kind of brings us to the end of this video. Honestly, I really want to thank all these ladies for recommending these books for me to read. It keeps me on my toes, and I read the books that you guys recommend way faster than the ones I just pick up myself. So feel free to just continue to recommend books. Let me know down in the comments who else I should message to read the book recommendations. I have kind of some names in the back of my mind that I want to message and try to get a recommendation. But as of right now, thank you Sarah, Lauren, and Alexa for recommending books for me, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure to go subscribe to all their channels and also my channel. Bye guys.